Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle the one thing that can make or break any project, the schedule. It's the engine that's supposed to drive everything forward, but if it's not managed properly, it can derail the whole thing.
And that's a really powerful statement, right? We talk a lot about budgets and resources, but honestly, it's that relentless ticking of the clock where projects truly face their biggest battles. Misaligned expectations, unexpected delays, they all attack the schedule first. And that's what creates friction, stress, and ultimately a ton of conflict.
And when scheduling goes wrong on a grand scale, the consequences can be just massive. There's probably no better or more public example of this than the story of the 2004 Athens Olympics.
I mean, before the opening ceremonies even started, a lot of people were predicting the facilities wouldn't even be ready in time. And while, the Greeks pulled off a fantastic event, that chaotic, last-minute race to the finish line came at a staggering cost. The final price tag was more than double the original budget, which left the Greek government with a huge financial deficit. A classic case of schedule failure leading to a massive cost disaster.
So, how do you avoid this fate? The answer isn't just luck or, working crazy hours. It really lies in a structured, disciplined approach. A blueprint for managing time before it starts managing you.
Okay, so let's actually build that blueprint. Getting control of your timeline is way more than just making a list of dates. It all starts with 5 foundational processes that create a solid, defensible project schedule.
As you can see here, each step just logically flows right into the next. The output of defining your activities, your task list, that becomes the input for sequencing them. I mean, you can't sequence tasks you haven't even defined, and you definitely can't develop a schedule without estimating how long they'll take. Skipping a step is like trying to build a roof before the walls are even up. Following this process brings predictability and order, and it turns a chaotic list of to-dos into a coherent plan.
So, with a solid process in place, you then need the right tools. Because, let's be real, a schedule that just lives in a spreadsheet is hard for anyone to understand. You need tools to bring your schedule to life, to make it visual, intuitive, and easy for everyone on the team to get on board with.
And the industry standard for visualizing a schedule is, without a doubt, the Gantt chart. It's so popular for a reason. It transforms a long, maybe overwhelming list of tasks into a clear visual roadmap. Instantly, you can see what needs to happen, in what order, and about how long it should take.
And this is where the real power of modern scheduling shines. A tracking Gantt chart shows you where you are versus where you plan to be. This comparison between your baseline and your actual progress, that's everything. It allows you to spot problems early and make course corrections before a small delay snowballs into a major crisis.
But a schedule isn't just a picture, it's a diagnostic tool. We can analyze it to find the single most vital sequence of tasks. Because not all tasks are created equal, and understanding which ones form the project's backbone is an absolute game changer.
This is called the critical path. It is the project's absolute backbone. It's the one sequence of tasks that has zero slack or float. And what that means is, any delay, even for a single day on any task on the critical path, will directly delay the entire project's completion date by 1 day. It literally dictates the minimum time your project is going to take. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Your critical path is your project's weakest link. So this is where you have to focus your best people, your contingency plans, and your closest monitoring. Why? Because speeding up a non-critical task is a waste of effort. It won't shorten your project's overall timeline one bit if the critical path stays the same. But what if your project environment is constantly changing? What if you can't plan everything up front, like you see in software development? Well, the traditional, long-term approach doesn't always fit. And that's where agile scheduling comes in. Agile basically flips the traditional model on its head. Instead of one massive, long-term plan, work is broken into short, iterative cycles called sprints, which usually last about 1 to 4 weeks. The goal isn't to rigidly follow a plan made months ago. It's to deliver value and adapt to change at the end of each sprint. And to track progress, teams often use a burn-down chart, which visually shows the work remaining versus the time available, letting them pivot really quickly if new information comes up.
So after looking at the processes, the tools, and all these different approaches, what are the key takeaways? How do you really truly master your project's timeline?
So, how do you master your timeline? First, treat that schedule not as just some document, but as a proactive tool to manage conflict. Build it using that structured 5-step process. Make it visible and intuitive with tools like Gantt charts so everyone is on the same page.
Then, you've got to identify and obsessively protect your critical path. It's your project's lifeline. And finally, choose the right tool for the job, the structured approach of traditional or the flexibility of agile. If you get these right, the schedule transforms from a source of stress into your most powerful tool for success.
So think about it, because having a structured, well-managed plan versus just having a list of dates, well, that can make all the difference between delivering on time and becoming another one of those cautionary tales.